What's up, everyone? This is DYANAROZAY. Welcome to my channel. You saw the thumbnail, so you know exactly why you're here. I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. Before we get started, please hit the like, subscribe, and your notification bell because that is how others find me right here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at DYANAROZAY and follow me on Facebook at DYANAROZAY Real Talk. That's a private group. Okay, so you're going to have to answer the questions in order to get in there. And outside of that, you guys, I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me on all of my platforms. So let's get started right here with Martell and Sheree, you guys. Y'all heard the saying, game recognized game. Okay, because honestly, I saw something in the episode, RHOA episode on Sunday night, that had me floored, okay? Actually, I watched it again earlier today. I didn't see it the first time around, but I watched it again earlier today. And I have to say, Bob Whitfield completely snubbed Martell Holt in the scene where he meets him for the very first time at the Sip and See for his grandbaby. Okay, let's set the scene. You know, Sheree actually says in her confessional that Martell and her ex-husband Bob, who, by the way, y'all know they were in a good space, right? They're flirting with each other, kind of. Bob more so with Sheree than the other way around. But Bob is rubbing on Sheree's waist and stuff like, did I really let this go? You know what I'm saying? He bigger than ever now. And Sheree's sitting here, drinking it all in because Bob, who had left her for dead, okay, like I ain't giving you child support, spousal support, the house note, I'm gonna let this shit foreclose. Now he is standing in her space looking at the things she's acquired, okay? How? We don't know. I heard that she has taken some trips to Africa though, so she may have a benefactor. But anyway, he's standing in her space. She has this $1 million party happening for her grandbaby. And she said, she's happy. She is happy. The family that she created is bearing fruit. Okay. So that's one reason to be happy. But baby, she said, Martell and Bob have never met before, and it is important for her that they get along, which we all know is crap. But she said it's important for her that they get along for the kids. Now, all of Sheree's kids are grown and having babies. So, why she would say that, I don't know. But let it be, let it be. But let's get to what Bob did to Martell in this actual episode because it was fantastic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen how, like, sports figures or whatever, when they come and they meet a stranger, they'll do the close in handshake and then you pat them on the back to move them on. Uh, Politicians do it, they actually practice it. You do the shake, you move them on, period. We can't talk, don't look them in the eye, don't make a whole lot of eye contact. You got to get to the next situation. And that is exactly what happened in that episode. You can tell that a camera crew sat right in front of Martell and Bob. They were supposedly walking toward each other with the goal that Bob and Martell would chat like, hey, how you doing, man? Have some sort of small talk and then, move on to the next. But when I tell you that Bob's small talk was so small that he didn't talk at all, let's look at it, okay? And he leaves the frame and leaves Martell there with this frozen look on his face, like what the just happened? Look at what I'm talking about, y'all, because I was laughing my butt off. Check this out. So it's going to play real fast at first, and then I'm going to have it on slow mo. Did y'all see how Bob leaves the scene? One more time. Okay. One more time in fast mode, then we'll do it in slow. And Martell actually says, hey, man, you doing good? Bob says nothing. We bring it in, pat him on the back. Look at Bob's eyes. He is looking in another direction. Martell actually doesn't even move. So he's not actually walking anywhere. He was expecting Bob to stop so that they could talk. Look at it again, and then we'll stop. So He walks up to him. He says, "Hey man, you doing good? Everything good?" Bob gives him the little brother man handshake, the pat on the back, and Bob's focus is on whatever, the pigs in the blanket. He does not have time for Martell whatsoever. And look at Martell's face. You can tell that he got played. He's like, what just happened here? Even the lady over there got her mouth open like, oop, that didn't happen the way it was supposed to, the way they wanted it to. And now we got this scene cutting into Sheree, right? Child, bye. Either way, I laughed my butt off. Y'all let me know what y'all think and if y'all actually saw this when it went down the first time, because damn, Martell got played. Martell was snubbed by Bob Whitfield, okay? Game recognized game at the end of the day. Bob was probably like, this is like real family business. And here you are, like Sheree getting upset that Bob's side baby had on pink. Yo, who knows what this is? Fake ass boyfriend is wearing pink and he's in the photo and he shouldn't be. Okay. I wonder if Bob felt away because he snubbed the hell out of Martell. And then they show Bob later, like the production team shows Bob later greeting Apollo and he gave him a nice warm hug, child. It was completely just Bob really wanted Martell to know that he doesn't fuck with him. Okay. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments while we move on to this next story. Let's talk about Kenya more because Carlos King just did what did he do? He did a recap earlier where he talked about Kenya and Phaedra and Apollo. And for whatever reason, because he should have known better, he left out a whole lot of details. He was making Kenya out to be a victim. Kenya herself was saying, I was a victim of, Phaedra and Apollo creating this fake story about me, yada, 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 yada. Which, okay, they may have made a fake story, and more so Apollo made the fake story because there were scenes that Phaedra filmed where you could tell she was pissed with Apollo, and she really, I think she told both of them, "I want y'all to stop texting each other, stop calling my husband, stop texting him." Don't have any more interaction or conversations. And when she like walked away, I remember Kenya saying, is that your mother? You're going to let her treat you like a bitch or she said something like, off the cuff with him. Like, I'm not going to stop. Either way, earlier today, Carlos really tried to make Kenya out to be the victim, saying that everybody on the Housewives cast hated Kenya. They all were coming after Kenya. And I was like, the reason they were all coming after Kenya is because Kenya was using her feminine wiles, even if she didn't want to have anything to do with Apollo, she was still using her feminine wiles to keep his nose wide open because she was trying to piss Phaedra off. Now, the lie that was concocted in the aftermath, that was just, a part of the game at that point. If you didn't know how to leave that man alone so that his wife could be comfortable, then you just became collateral damage in your own game, in my opinion. But y'all can let me know what y'all think, okay? Because I'm going to tell y'all a few stories. Let's start with, let me see. No. Let's start with the, I'm going to play. Well, before I play that, let's go here. Let's show you these pics. Do y'all remember this? When Kenya, I think she was on the reunion stage and she said, I think she said, stop texting me or something like that. And then Apollo was like, you texted me. And then they had to give the phone to Andy. And I remember Candy saying something like, I saw a hey babe text. Kenya was the one who initiated hey babe. Now, everybody keeps saying that Candy is a truth teller. She doesn't like for anyone to call her a liar. It is in print. Candy interjected saying that Phaedra had showed her a hey babe text that Kenya had sent Apollo's way, but Kenya brushed it off. Now, again, I don't think that at the end of the day, Kenya wanted to do with Apollo, but I do think she wanted Phaedra to feel away. At the end of the day, she was USA. She knows what it feels like and what it looks like for a man to lust after her. And she knew that Apollo was lusting after her, and she took advantage of it. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to show you, because no one's making her answer to this. What was this hey babe about? That's not nice, simple flirting. You know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about the actual scene when Phaedra goes to Apollo and said that he crossed the line. She said, she said, hold on one second, let me make sure I'm reading that. I don't think I crossed the line. Did I cross the line? He asked. So that's Apollo. Then Phaedra responds, yeah, you probably should not have been responding to her text. So Phaedra's letting them know, you messed up. Apollo said, I don't believe I did anything wrong. I did not cross the line with Kenya. That's when Phaedra says point blank, don't text my friends. He says, babe, I'm a grown man. You're not my mama. She goes on to say, what he sees as harmless, I see as being inappropriate. Okay, that was in her confessional. He continues saying that don't treat me like you're my, don't act like you're my mama. And that's when she said, that's when Apollo says, excuse me, Apollo says, let me take this this logo down real fast because I don't want y'all to miss anything. So Apollo says she wanted to F, okay? She wanted to have X in LA. And then Phaedra says, you're about 2 seconds from me cutting your tongue, okay? Cutting out your tongue. And then in confessional, Phaedra says, I might have, y'all see it there, with this damn steak knife. That is how they handle it. Now, I could not play that because it was giving me the copyright, but Phaedra did say several times that Apollo was being inappropriate by responding to her text, by not blocking her on the phone, and by not, okay, by responding. So you didn't block her and you continue to respond. You are just as guilty, is basically what she was saying. Now, Kenya had made the comment, I don't want your man. Let's make that perfectly clear. I'm not going to walk around with some scarlet letter on me, she told Phaedra. And then she said, I'm nobody's whore and nobody's fool. Okay, well, after she did all of that, Phaedra was already pissed. And then she went on Arsenio Hall with other cast members, Cynthia, who else? Portia, and Peter. So let's check that out real fast. And they all had something to say about Kenya. That was the part that Carlos left out. So let's check it out.
On with Kenya, your husband, this texting and sex.
Well, Kenya had been texting my husband after we fell out from being friends. Well, Kenya had been texting my husband after we fell out from being friends. And then when they later saw each other in LA, she offered him oral sex.
So I did play that part twice because she was being honest. You continued to text him after we fell out from being friends. And if y'all remember the episode, she told her that you're not supposed to be texting him. You're not supposed to be contacting him. I would like for you guys to stop. That actually did happen.
And so that was the big thing. And that was the whole synopsis.
So your man Apollo is in LA and they're texting each other.
Well, no, they're not texting in. She sees them.
They're talking in person, and your husband says, she said, I would like to scream on your microphone.
He called me immediately. So I was on the phone. He's like, I got to check out this hotel because, you know, this girl's crazy. And I was like, what's going on? And he told me, and I was like, yeah, you better check on out. It wasn't as though he didn't tell me what was going on, but I thought it was inappropriate that he was even responding to her. It wasn't as though he didn't tell me what was going on, but I thought it was inappropriate that he was even responding to her.
It was inappropriate.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those examples of crossing the line, really just jumping completely over the line.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, even though you may not be married, it's just some things are just common sense of how to behave around a married couple. It's just some things are just common sense of how to behave around a married couple. And for me, I don't even like to stand and look someone's husband eye to eye and carry on more than a 3-minute conversation. So when we go to exchange telephone numbers, like I was telling somebody the other day, every type of communication that you have with this couple needs to go through the wife. Like, and you should know that at some point in your life. And if you overstep that boundary, then your intentions were wrong from the beginning.
And if you overstep that boundary, then your intentions were wrong from the beginning.
You talked about
women using men to get to other women.
Yeah,
You want to expound on that?
yeah, well, that's how it came across to me. I feel like, she was using Apollo to get to Phaedra. And when he came and asked me for my advice, I tell him, you should have shut it down. You shouldn't even respond to a text. Because if my wife don't like you, then I don't like you. Because if my wife don't like you, then I don't like you.
Period. If your wife has a problem with a woman, then you, the husband, have a problem with that same woman. And that's how I saw it too. When the first time around when I watched it, I was just like, this is just too much. But then when I really paid attention, okay, the second time I was like, okay, I see what Kenya was doing. Kenya was literally just keeping this man's nose open because she wanted to get back at Phaedra, and then it backfired on her. Now, if she would tell that story, it'd be, better, because that's the truth. You did help in this whole situation. You weren't a complete and total victim. And Apollo was the one who told the damn lie. He knew he was on the chopping block with Phaedra, okay, because he was doing other things in the street and, setting a family up to go to prison. But he knew it, and he knew he was getting her goat. And to tell the truth, him going to Carlos King before he took his last hurrah on the set before going to the pen, and he went up to Carlos King and said, I lied. And Carlos was like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. You're going to have to tell the truth, or, say it on camera. And he did. And you know what Peter said? I've never known anybody to lie, never known a grown man to lie on their dick. So people still didn't believe you because that man had been perpetrating or telling that lie for 2.5 seasons, damn near. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section. I know a lot of people were, because I watched the replay, but I wish I would have watched in real time, because I would have wanted to type in, yo, what about all of these things? It wasn't just her being a flirt at some point. At some point, you have to be like, okay, let's cut it out. It just backfired on her, that's all. But at the same time, it still made for compelling TV, because everybody tuned in to see how far y'all were going to take this entire story. But y'all can let me know what y'all think in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit your notification bell, and I will check you all on the next one.